Hello and welcome back to Strongwoman High's Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very special guest joining the podcast. We have Carly Poyser joining the show. You've been brought up a lot of times on this podcast, haven't you?
Well, I've heard. I listened to Shan's one because I coached her at the time. So that was really sweet. I adore Shannon.
Oh no, you and Alfie have had some shout outs on this podcast, like for a bit royalty on this podcast, you
I
two.
love it.
So do you want to give everyone a brief elevator pitch introduction to who you are, what you're all about?
Yep. So I'm Carly Poyser. I'm a personal trainer. I did compete in Strongwoman. I started in 2016, then got diagnosed with MS. Well, I played rugby in between, then got diagnosed with MS, and then went into the disabled category, standing class 1. So competed there for, I think, 3 years, 24, no, 20, I don't know, 23, 24, 25. I'm done now, put it that way. My body says I'm done.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair. It's a highly demanding sport, isn't it? But it's so cool that you've done the not like the non-adaptive class and then done rugby and then done the adaptive class as well. That's like, what a journey of really hard sports.
Yeah, definitely. It was all, I mean, when I started in 2016, I started at a local gym and there was a personal trainer there called Jesse, who is amazing. What he doesn't know isn't worth knowing. And there was a comp and I just thought, I'm going to try, let's try. So I ended up training with him and his girlfriend and we both competed at the comp in 2016. I just fell in love with it because I was a lot bigger at the time as well. And it's a confidence boost, right?
Yeah.
To know that you're bigger and you found a sport that still works for you.
Yeah.
And that was just so empowering. And that is one of the reasons why I started my local ladies rugby team after that, because I had the confidence. Without Strongwoman, I wouldn't have had the confidence to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think that's the thing. I was talking about this morning with somebody about the inclusivity of Strongwoman. It's just like, that's the beauty of this sport. Like, I think with other sports like CrossFit or even sometimes rugby, people look at it and think, well, I can't do that. I'm not the right shape. I'm not the right size. Whereas with Strongwoman, there's literally no shape or size. Like, you can look however you want. Like,
100%. And that's what led me into the women's rugby. I owned a company at the time that was children's rugby, so called Little Scrummers. It was for age 2 to 6. I set that up in, I think, 2010, because both my boys played rugby. So it was a way of, having a business, and it was run to start for them because there was nothing around.
Yeah.
And we was at an award ceremony, and my local rugby club won Rugby Club of the Year. I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. I knew they had no women and girls. And so I went over to their table, and I didn't know them that well at the time.
Yeah.
Said, how have you won? You've got no women and girls. And they were like, well, it has been tried actually a couple of times and it failed. Right. And I'm like, yeah, but no, I can't have it. I can't have it.
I'd had enough.
So I was like, that was September 2016. So it was a few months after the comp. And by November, we had a ladies rugby team. Amazing. Because I went to see the chair and he said, well, can you get me 20 women in 3 months? And I had about 26 women within 3 hours.
Class. That's so good. I love that.
And it spiraled from there, really. I never intended to play because I wasn't that interested in myself playing. Mm-hmm. But when you're getting all these women together and you're asking them every weekend to sort of put their bodies on the line, similar to Strongwoman, you're asking quite a lot. And I thought, well, practice what you preach then, love. You can't be standing there managing a team and actually not really have ever played.
Yeah. That's
then I started playing, and it's a great inclusive space again, rugby for women, all shapes, all sizes. I was bigger at the time. I was second row. The sort of power behind the bigger girls at the front. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just such a great sport to be part of. And then we grew. I got 8 of us ladies badgered the RFU into setting up a training course so we could all be qualified coaches, because I felt it was important for women to train the girls. And then I set up the girls teams 18 months later.
Yeah.
So amazing. Just empowering for young girls as well, I've got 2 sons, but I'm very much, it should be equal all around. That's it. I'm not asking for more. I'm just asking for equality in the sports.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've done.
I love that. It's so cool as well. So cool as a boy mum to be like, do you know what though, girls?
Yeah.
The boys are being brought up all right, so now I'm going to focus on the girls.
Yeah, it just want them to have the same opportunities.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for those girls, I grew up, I was a lot bigger, not seeing myself reflected, not seeing a sport I could play. And so I wanted to create that for local girls and women.
yeah,
The ladies team came first, as it were. But to have that platform to say, look, you can fit in, there is stuff you can do. Come and join us. You haven't got to be, this size, that size, the ability to do this, that, and the other. There was
yeah,
plenty of times when I was training where I was blowing out my arse running around, but I
yeah,
gave it everything. But equally, the women that were the backs and the faster ones couldn't have taken the hits in the scrums. So
yeah,
we all had our place, and I think that's important. And I think going back to Strongwoman a few years later, I found there was so much more around, so many more comps, so much more that you could achieve than when I started in 2016. Now it's so much more mainstream. And for
yeah,
the men as well, for the guys, when Alfie started, I think he started training 2020 or 2019. The platforms weren't there. And although the prize money is still shocking, it is, it's coming up. It's like, there was no money in rugby. It's slowly getting there for people to be, paid, have a wage, earn something out of it as well.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see it changing now, can't you? It is
Yeah.
definitely getting there now. But that's so cool. And as well, like 2016, so you can almost count yourself, I'd count you as 10 years in the sport. And like I love it. I love hearing from people who've like been in this sport for that amount of time. It's awesome. And I said it on the last podcast as well. It just shows how good this sport is for keeping people like in
Mm.
it and involved in it, because the community is just such a like legendary thing. But
Yeah.
going back to when you first started then, so I know you said
Mm.
you were a bit bigger when you were younger. How did you get into training? Were you always into sports, or what was the first step
Yeah.
into the gym?
First step into the gym. Well, when I was at school, I say I was never that interested in rugby before I was because I made him start a girls' rugby team because I hated netball. I played hockey a bit, got a couple of front teeth knocked out, and thought that's not for me either. Um, so I liked moving my body. I just didn't want to do it with pivot, center, goal attack, and that's what was on offer.
Yeah,
I hated cross country. I wasn't a huge fan of PE, but then I started working in the city and I got into running. So, and that's what helped me lose some weight initially. And I just found a love of moving my body. But, me and long runs are not best friends.
yeah.
So I sort of stepped into the gym just to see what else was out there. And, running in the rain is horrible.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you on that. It's the worst. There's nothing worse. The
Yeah.
wind, I think, is actually maybe worse than the rain, but yeah, bad
Yeah.
weather is
It's
not the
just
one.
harsh. No. So, and then I sort of stepped into the gym from there, probably about 20. Oh, how long have I been with Andy? It was around the time we met. I just started the gym a couple of years before that. I was probably about 18, 19 when I really started getting into the gym, and I'd moved out of home and I used a local David Lloyd at the time. Thought it was brilliant.
Yeah,
It had all the facilities. It was very glam. And just started from there really, and then got into the free weights. As I say, mainly when I met Jesse in 2015, 2016 at Corru in Bishop Stortford. And he was just such a nice trainer. He pushed you, but it was to a point, I don't think I vomited at all at that point. But that has been known. I just wanted to see what my body could do, what it was capable of.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that, and I do. I think it's so inspiring as well to hear stories of like women, especially like 10, 20 years ago, who are getting into the gym and then have got into that like strength training. Because nowadays there's still that barrier to entry, but it is a little bit more accessible. Back then, it was
Yeah.
not like as accessible for women
No,
strength
it
training.
wasn't.
No
And stepping
way.
into a free weights area was very scary,
Yeah. Like,
you
I
know.
can't even imagine, and I love that you were just like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna do that. Like, let's
Literally, I
go."
just thought there's no reason I can't. It doesn't take a penis to lift a barbell. Come on, guys. Do you know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
it was just, and I'm quite stubborn like that. And I just thought, well, why not? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, 100%. I feel like this is just a common theme in your life by the sounds of it. You just go into something and you go, "Do you know what? can't be that hard. The men do it. Why can't I? Fuck them.
Yeah, literally, it is though. It's like, oh, someone said no. Oh, no, no,
Not gonna
I
work
don't
for
think that's
me.
gonna happen. Yeah, literally. Got to prove them wrong.
Absolutely. I love that. It's so cool. Right. Well, let's get into your strong woman bits then. I know we've got loads more to
Cool.
talk about, but I want to try and keep it on track. And I think I know where we're gonna go with this anyway. So do you want to give us some of your strong woman highs to start off with?
My biggest high was competing last November at OSG. It was never the plan because the year before I said my body's done. I'm tired, and I knew that I'd got as far as I could go. But then Alfie got asked or got the opportunity to compete in the Opens at OSG. I was going to go anyway.
Yeah.
So I just sort of said to him, fuck it, let's train for it. I got my invite and I just thought, well, one last hurrah. And what a place to do it, Texas. On the first year, my son's competing in Opens, will be my last year in adaptives. And then,
Absolutely.
that was an absolute high to go out there and do that and us be training together, and I've been a bit slack recently on attending the gym and pushing myself. I'll go, but it's more of a just to move, just to keep some strengths up at the minute because I've had a relapse again,
Yeah.
but I've still always gone,
Yeah.
so my love of it hasn't left like that. I love seeing Alfie compete. I like being around that environment. But for me, I know my body's done.
Yeah.
But that was an absolute high. That
Yeah.
that was the high. That was the note to end on where I can now sort of rest a bit from that sort of training, saying I'm not doing it anymore. I'm going to flip a car on Sunday just for sort of shits and gigs. Well, I'm saying I'm going to do it. I am going to do it, and that's the mindset. But this
Yeah.
was Alfie's birthday present to me. So
Oh.
what do you want for your birthday? And then he mentioned going to flip a car, and I was like, it's been some time, Alf, but I'll give it a bash. So, why not? So it's not that I've fallen out of love with strength sports. It's that my body's sort of said, can't keep up that intensity. Sort of, what the training's like pre-comp. You're in the gym 4 times a week, 2.5 hours each session.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the training, is it? It's like just with it being strongman, it's getting the kit in and out, like sorting the
Yeah.
kit out, getting the stuff ready, bringing stuff in and out. I know, like obviously with OSG, there was like loads of sandbags, wasn't there, last year? And it was like
Yeah.
just it was a very intensive competition with a lot of like setup for events, and that in
Yeah.
itself, like, must have been horrific to try and get all that set up in the gym, and then be like, right,
It
now I've got to
was.
train it, and now I've got to put
Yeah.
it away.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally. So now I'll go in and I'll help Alfie load when he was doing his comp prep for England recently.
Yeah.
And he was doing that for me in the gym because let's be honest, my prep and my warm-ups was him barely getting warm. So I'll be like, I'll just jump in on that, Alf, and then I'll leave it for you to deload. That cool, yeah? And because
Yeah.
he coached me, he was like, yes, mum, absolutely fine. But he'd always do it. But it did help towards the end of prep, not having to,
Mm.
you know, he would come and load something for me. And
Yeah.
that was a game changer because it was some of that by the time I'd done the setup, I'm knackered. I've got nothing in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we've
Absolutely.
had to modify the sessions a lot
Yeah.
to make them shorter and just focus on the main things because my body towards the end, despite me getting my, sort of nearly 200 grams of protein a day, standing there at 11 p.m. trying to eat a chicken breast, washing it down with a glass of water, questioning my life choices.
Oh God, that sounds
You
so
know,
awful.
yes, well, he was doing my nutrition as well, so there was no escaping because he lives with me.
Oh no.
So there was a case of, if you got to eat, then I'm like, yeah, I have. I'll get it done then. Yes, I have. Okay. All right. You know,
It's like the reverse of mum son there,
it
isn't it?
was,
That?
it was, honestly. And now I'm the one on his case all the time going, well, I think you should be eating a bit better than that, Alf, actually.
Yeah.
And he can say nothing. So it's great.
Quality that. That's so good. Well, do you want to tell us a little bit about your diagnosis then and like how that all came about and what happened?
Yeah, sure. So I started having symptoms. I got diagnosed with ME, I think it's called CFS as well now, chronic fatigue. Back, I think just after I had kids. So was it, I've got two boys 11 months apart. A lot of
Yeah.
it was probably I was just knackered, man. Um, and a few symptoms started appearing, but they said, no, it's chronic fatigue, blah, blah, blah. Left it. And then I started making notes in my phone. I'd have a couple of times a year, I'd be really dizzy for a couple of weeks and there was no answer, or the fatigue would hit. So when I say you can't get out of bed, I genuinely mean it's not a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, nothing works. So then I had to have a hysterectomy. We lost a daughter. I had to have a hysterectomy in 20, 10 years ago. I was 31, so 16 years ago. And I started having a load of gynae issues a couple of years ago. So I went to a gynecologist and she done a scan and went, no, there's no ovaries there, love, menopause done. This is nothing related to that. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, well, I've got to see a neurologist then. Thank God for Bupa,
Yeah.
because I had seen 2 neurologists because the first one wouldn't commit to anything. Had an MRI, had a lumbar puncture, had all the scans, the blood tests and everything. And within about 2 months, I got my diagnosis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I've got 20 lesions on my brain. I can't remember how many on my spine, but apparently that's not a lot. Sounds a lot,
It
but
sounds a
apparently that's
lot.
really not a lot. It's like, oh, you've only got 20 on your brain. You're like, sounds hefty number to me. The brain's not that big, surely.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then that's when the day I got diagnosed, I was sitting in a Costco car park with Alfie. We were just going into Costco. And my husband was at work. My other son lives in America, plays football out there. So he wasn't around. So we got this phone call and this diagnosis, and then the letter was literally immediate on email. So I sat in the car, cried for about 30 seconds, said, we've got to get into Costco because I've got to go to the gym. And I was like, what? I said, I need to make a note of every major lift and where I'm at now,
Yeah.
because I'm not letting it drop below those numbers. And that's what really spurred I'll compete in Strongwoman,
Yeah.
because, use it or lose it, really. And my mindset was
Absolutely.
very much, right, going to get some weight off again. I'm going to focus on my health. I'm going to get stronger. Putting some weight back on to do OSG was an absolute mindfuck, because, I'm like, but the scale's going up, Alfie. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, ah! But, I had to get my head around some of that after spending so long. But I mean, that's all gone again now, and that's great.
Yeah.
But it's just to remain strong and healthy and mobile, because I get dizziness, my vision can get sort of spots in front. I'll drop things when I'm holding them. Like, generally, if I can hold a cup like that, I can
Yeah.
hold it like that today. It will have to be this tomorrow. It's, things are just so up and down. I get a little bit of foot drop, so you look like you're sort of scuffing your foot along the pavement, like you. So that's fun.
Yeah.
I'd had a hip replacement in the meantime.
Oh God.
So 2019, I held that out too.
Yeah.
Um, and just wanted to keep my body as healthy as I could, because if the MS takes over at some point and I end up in a wheelchair, fine. Do you know what? Absolutely bloody fine. I will have given it my best shot
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
to. And that's not to say if you end up in a wheelchair, I'm just saying, I know I would have had to give it everything. I don't want to look back and go, well, if you'd have only strength trained a bit more, if you'd have done that a bit more. And we
Yeah.
can all say that. And I'm sure everyone with a sort of chronic illness does sort of question this, that, and the other. But I just wanted to know that happens. I've given it my best shot for it not to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've put everything in place that you can possibly do
Yeah,
to limit any like future issues. I think that's and it's
exactly.
such a good way to look at it as well. I feel like so it's like it's a sensible, positive, hopeful way to look at it without being like
Yeah,
completely unrealistic, isn't it?
exactly. Because things might happen. I've had 2 rounds of a drug called Mavenclad, which is a chemotherapy drug.
Yeah.
So I had that 24, 25. My hair went really curly and I hated it. And now it's going straight and I hate it. So, but symptoms from that were nothing, and it's held things off, sort of, quite nicely. So, but I had a relapse recently, which was about 8 weeks long, which was absolutely hideous.
Mm,
But I've been left with a few little bits, but nothing that seriously changed my mobility or anything like that. But I
yeah.
sort of knew last year in the prep in November, I just felt a bit like, this is that I am getting every last bit out of my body, because I genuinely felt I could deliver no more. I
Yeah.
could do no more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's inspiring, and it's inspiring to be able to push like that as well. Do you want to give everyone a bit of like a brief like explanation of what like the relapse remitting MS is like for you?
Yeah, so you have a sort of baseline of symptoms that become your normal. So I can have as I say, the dizziness, the sort of blurred vision that will just come out of nowhere. The fatigue is something else. You're not just tired. It's not just having a couple of newborn babies tired. It is, I can't function tired. I have to go and sleep. Numbness in my hands, feet, that then doesn't help with the foot drop or just dropping things. All over weakness. It's like I can't, the strength, progressive overload, it's really basic. Can't do it. Doesn't work like that for me anymore. And that become apparent quite early on in different comp preps. What should be working and what, if it had been a client of mine, I'd have been like, that's skipping shit because that, it's just not the way my body would process that anymore.
Yeah.
So the training is so much harder because what your body is feeding back is just nothing there.
Yeah.
There's nothing, it's like, it just goes, computer says no, especially single arm dumbbell. Oh, I hate that movement. It just, my shoulders, just for some reason, I've had a couple of surgeries on my shoulders through playing rugby.
Right.
So, but it wasn't just that. It was like something in my brain was just not firing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then symptoms come and go and they can be worse some days, better others. You have to learn to pace yourself, which is really annoying. So when you're in comp prep, that is my focus.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Even clients that I see in the lead up to comp be like, tired, aren't you? I'm like, I know the session is going to be a bit shit. Shall I just pass you my phone right now? Because I'm like, but they were all so good towards the end of prep. They're like, you're all right. Because I know I wasn't bringing the energy,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And if you're training clients, every session, you've got to remember what Bob done last week. You've got to be on it. And that's what they're paying for and that's what they deserve. So to get to the end and be like,
Yeah.
after a couple of weeks off after comp, seeing clients, then they're like, oh God, she's back. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
right, no, that was not good. What was that depth? What are you doing? Back on that sort of vibe. Whereas before I was just like, I've got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I've used my energy for the day on training. I don't have it for
Literally.
you.
Yeah, literally, it was just crazy. So now I'm feeling like, despite the relapse, I'm feeling like I'm sort of coming back up
Mm-hmm.
again. And I've just had a week off work. And actually, I haven't taken a week off in forever. That was just
Lovely.
lush.
Yeah.
To actually not train, not do anything, a couple of days away with my husband and the kids, just nice.
Yeah, yeah, lovely. I bet it's a beauty that, and it's like well deserved as well. I mean, your whole life seems to like revolve around the gym as well, and I bet it's like quite
Yeah.
annoying at sometimes when you feel like you don't have that access to that energy where you feel like you probably should, and you're just like,
Yeah,
what is going on?
100%. Yesterday, I had a client say, oh, can I swap out my session? It was about 2 hours for a session. Can we fit you in? And I was like, yep, okay, swap it. And I thought, oh, I could go to the gym and do arms. Oh, that would be quite handy. I've got a gym in my house. And
Nice.
I literally walked in there and went, gonna have a nap.
Yeah, yeah,
I can do nothing. When you feel like there's just nothing I'm going to get out of this session other than feel more tired.
yeah, yeah.
So if I nap and I go again in a day or two, that's fine. I think it's having to change some of that because before you could push through, push through, push through. And now you get to a point where your body's just like, I have nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's really weird because you can't quite explain it to somebody. You're like, oh, you're feeling tired? No, I'm feeling like I died.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's just, it's not a case of just go and eat something, have some
No.
water. Be
It's
like,
the next level of tired. It's my body
it
has
is, it's
decided
weird.
no, not I
Yeah,
can make a choice in my head now.
exactly. It is. And you have to, I think one of the hardest things is learning to respect that
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, and
just sort of go, it's okay. It's one day. Don't worry.
yeah, and I feel like as well, like obviously I don't know, but like doing a bit of research into MS, it's that you're going to want to push, you're going to want to push through, but you need to obviously, yeah, learn that and go, actually, no, this isn't going to be beneficial in the long run. This is just going to make me worse. And I do think it's important for like most people, especially in strongman. It's
Yeah.
so easy to get carried away with the training and push yourself to burnout. And I think a lot of people in strongman are those like type A personalities that just keep
Yeah.
going and going and going until
Yeah.
you are massively burnt out. And I know it's not the same
Yes.
as having MS, but it's that
No, you do.
similar
You
vein
get to
of
that point.
looking after yourself, isn't it,
Yeah.
sometimes, and taking a step back?
Yeah. I always used to say, if I haven't cried in the last 2 weeks of prep, I haven't prepped.
Yeah.
If I'm not literally on the floor, what have I haven't done it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's very
You
fair.
can't let your body get so far to that point with MS because then you might write off days, weeks, months.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's protecting that, like, future you, isn't it, almost
Yeah,
with pacing. And
yeah.
when you first were getting that diagnosis, did you have an idea? Did you already think,
Yeah,
"I know there's something going on here"? Did you think
yeah,
it was MS?
yeah. When I started looking back at the symptoms, and obviously we all have a Google, and putting a few things together, and I thought, this has been years. It was never, and even my consultant said it was probably never ME.
Yeah.
That was the start of MS, but I didn't push hard enough. They didn't care enough to
Mm.
really look into it more. So this time I was not letting that go.
Yeah.
My first consultant I saw, and he's like, well, it could be, give it 6 months, come back, we'll do another scan. I'm like, there's 20 lesions on my brain. What do you think it is?
Yeah. You don't need
It's
to wait
sort
any
of,
longer.
yeah, I'm done waiting. And because I had this list of notes, and it was only then when I started going back through and going, I'm having consistent dizzy spells. It's something happens and you forget.
Yeah.
I hadn't put it all together
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
until I
like
looked
puzzle
at this list
pieces.
and thought, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, starting to see a pattern then and then going,
Yeah,
hang on a minute."
yeah. So I'd have been more surprised if it wasn't,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because then that'd have left me with even more questions. Once I knew it was, as I say, it was like, right, okay, I know what I've got to do.
Yeah.
I've got to keep strong and get myself in a decent enough shape. I'd love to think at some point, like, I wouldn't love to think it. I've thought it briefly and then pulled myself to one side and give myself a slap. Like putting your body through like a bodybuilding prep. I love the idea of it. I love the idea of seeing that extreme of what you can do.
Yeah.
I just, I like a glass of wine. I just don't
Very
think,
fair.
I don't think I could really do that now. But years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, I reckon I could.
Yeah, well, you can never say never. I mean, bodybuilding, there's no age limit on bodybuilding. No
I
age limit.
know, but I just no. If there was any comeback, I'd rather go and play rugby.
Oh,
But I
God.
know my hip. I got told by my consultant, when I had my hip replaced, you are never playing rugby again. And then I was like, please, I might. And I never have since then. I played after the broken toes and the fingers and the shoulder surgeries. I played every time after them.
Yeah.
But with the hip, I did just think, yeah. And he scared me. He went, if you take a big hit, you could lose your leg. And then I was like, probably not worth it for 80 minutes.
Maybe not, no. That sounds
No.
like that doesn't
So,
sound like a straightforward hip replacement either, so therefore,
no.
yeah, nah,
Probably
not
not the
worth the
best
risk.
idea, but I do still I go and watch the ladies, I always chair there and I'll go up and watch and support them, and a
Yeah,
couple of years, not this off season, but the past 2, I've gone up there and done Strongwoman style pre-season training with them,
nice.
um, because it's just, giving everyone the outlet, and it's as I say, I love it. I love sport. I like watching the women's rugby, and I like watching my son plays football. We can get it on like ESPN, so I can watch his games from here, and I
Class.
love seeing Alfie compete.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but I've got no desire now to. I just don't think it's in me. I just don't think it's in me because there's a permanent sense of weakness that you have, or that
Hmm.
I have, where you feel you might be able to get that rep, but did it. So this is why I've taken my training back, lower weights, higher reps. I say more of a bodybuilding style
Yeah, yeah.
rather than, because, I look back now and think, how did I ever do that single arm dumbbell at like 30? And it was only 35 kilos. It's not even that wow. But it took
Thank
me
you.
about a year to get from 25 to 35.
Yeah, yeah,
The progressive overload does not work for me.
yeah.
Well, right now, at this, the way my training was. Alfie had to change. I'm sure I was a nightmare. And bless him, I wasn't even paying him to coach me. It just
That's
get a
the
lot of
benefit of
questions.
family.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not paying him. He don't pay rent. So it was just like, but in fairness to him, we got it done.
Yeah. And also, what great experience for a coaching for him as well to one be
Yeah.
able to like coach somebody with MS who is
Yeah.
going to help him through that as well, being his mum, that
Yeah.
you're going to be able to say, look, that's not going to work for me. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to have a workaround of this. Like, that's such great coaching experience. And I know he's
Yeah.
already a really good coach. We've had loads of guests on who were coached by Alfie and like can't
Yeah.
speak highly enough about him. So yeah, it's awesome and like just a class experience for him as well, really, and to help you throughout all of it
Yeah.
too.
definitely. I remember the first few sessions, and one of them, and I got in the gym and I thought I was nearly done. And I was like halfway through. I think it was sandbag and dumbbell or so, sandbag and yoke. I can't remember. It was just too painful of an experience. But I got halfway through the session and then saw I had to do it was sandbag that I had to do next, and just went over to Alfie and went, "You taking the piss?" And it what? And I said, "Well, someone's better be dividing this session up, Alf." I said, "Because there's no way I've got nothing."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Do you know what I
maybe
mean? This is too much in one session for me now. And it's like, yeah, cool, cool.
yeah,
So it's amazing how with the MS things just progress and your training style has to change and what you expect of yourself. What I expect of myself is 1,000 times worse than what I'd expect of anyone else.
yeah.
My
Always the
standards for
way.
me are just, well, you should get that. Get it done. Stop bitching. Da 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 da. And I wouldn't expect as much from anyone else.
No, and I bet it was quite good though to have Alfie there because he would have been that voice of reason of being like, "Come on, mum, like this is
Yeah.
crazy. Like you don't need
Yeah.
to be expecting this."
Yeah, totally. And he would push me where needed or be like, I'd do a couple of reps, couldn't get it. And I'd be like, oh, I can't get it today. And he'd be like, have a drink, take a seat. You've got 4 minutes. Do you know what I mean? And he would then, and I did need that sometimes because I'm like, oh no, it says no. Body says no, I can't do this now. But
Yeah,
he'd be like, it's there. I can see it's there. And because of the way, he'd look at stuff. And when I was coaching Shan towards the end of her last prep, I just kept going to Alfie, I can't see what's wrong with this lift, Alf. I can't see it. There's nothing that's wrong with this lift. Like, would you send me stuff? And he'd be like, if her foot was an inch out to the left, that would work. And I go back and go, Shan, right, apparently your foot needs to be an inch to the left, love. And it would work. He can
yeah,
see stuff that I can't see, which is why I don't coach Strongwoman now. I took Shan as far as I could, said, you need Alfie because, he's been looking at your videos for the past 6 weeks, love. And she knew that, and he was helping me because I just felt out of my depth
yeah,
on that. And I just, I work with clients that just generally want to get stronger, want to feel, my whole thing is stronger, healthier, happier. That's
yeah,
it. I'm not doing your body transformations. If I see one more post saying summer body ready, yeah, it's summer and I've got a body, fuck off. I can't, it's just not. But I've got clients that have had strokes, clients that have got cancer.
yeah,
I like showing these women that have never stepped in the gym, that don't want to step in a commercial gym because they haven't got the confidence, that will now go and train in a gym.
yeah, yeah.
I like seeing that confidence grow. I had one client turn up walking sticks. I've had a client in a wheelchair. The one in a chair is now walking with a cane, and the one that came with 2 sticks is down to 0. That
Amazing.
gets me. That is
Yeah.
absolutely the most powerful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. See, that's what I love about coaching. It's that helping like people who don't expect to be able to be strong.
Yeah.
I'm well with you on that. And I loved what you said as well about asking like Alfie for help with the coaching of Strongwoman and then saying I took her as far as I could in Strongwoman. Like
Yeah.
working with for me, strength coaches and personal trainers, I feel like it's one of the biggest issues that we have in this like profession is working outside the scopes of practice, people just not having enough about themselves to take their ego down a notch and go,
Yeah.
that's not my area of expertise. Here, have
Yeah.
somebody else. Like, and that
Yeah.
it's a breath of fresh air to hear it, to be honest. Just for
I
you to
just
be like,
knew I
you know
wasn't
what?
giving her the service that I'd want. And even though I'm like, well, yeah, I've competed at that level, I've done that, doesn't mean that I can coach you the way I felt. I can take you to a certain level. And on her last comp, Alf and I both went, I can't remember what it was. She'll bollock me for that. Alf and I both went because he was already doing her nutrition and I'd spoken to Shan, and then we both see the same chiropractor. And I went to the chiropractor when I'd had the discussion with Shan and said, look, this is the last comp, Shan. I can't, the technical stuff now,
Yeah.
I cannot see it. And she went to the chiropractor and said, Mike, Carly's dumping me. So I went into the chiropractor and he said, why are you dumping Shan? I'm like, I'm not dumping her. I've done as much as I can.
Yeah.
But we have a good laugh about it, and I'm still big friends with Shan, and
Yeah.
I love seeing her doing what she's doing because she's got huge, huge, huge potential.
Yeah. She's awesome. She's so
And
cool. I love her so
yeah,
much.
to see that I've taken her from I don't really want to step in the gym much into the first comps. And I think her first PT session with me, I was like, you got to compete. I think I had Atlas Stone still in the gym at the time. She's like, what are those? And I'm like, well, let's see what we can do. And then I
Hell
think all of a sudden the 60 was just up and I'm like, oh, bitch, you're strong.
yeah.
It was just
Hell yeah.
exciting. and then you can compete. She's like, I can't. I'm like, oh, you can.
You will.
It's just, yeah, literally. And I kept sending her competitions. I think
Amazing.
she'd done the first one to shut me up. But it's just great, isn't it, to see, especially for me, women that are lacking confidence, lacking the self-belief, walk away from something going, I can do that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love that. And I agree. I think it's one of the most rewarding parts, especially in like being in strength sports, just in general, not
Yeah.
just even in strong woman specifically, is that, yeah, finding people that don't think they can be strong and then showing them that they absolutely can. Like it's a
Yeah.
game changer. I've literally just had the conversation with my mum last night because she just got into strength training in the last couple of months and she loves it. Like she's a convert. She said to me last night, she's like, I wish I'd listened to you sooner. And I was like,
Uh,
don't we all, Mum? Bloody hell! Like, but finally, we're waiting years to hear that. But yeah, like it's, and she's changed. She would never like a year ago. I remember having these conversations and saying, "Come to the gym with me. You'll be absolutely fine. You'll love it." No, I can't do stuff like that. I
yeah.
can't do this. That's not what I'm. My body will break and all this sort of stuff. And now she's just like, "No, I'm sound. I can do whatever I want."
Love it.
Yeah,
That's it. It's that confidence, especially as we get older. All of my clients are sort of 35 up, really.
yeah,
I've got a mum and daughter that come, but yet again, with the daughter, lost a load of weight out of her choice. Is never me standing there going, oh, do you know what I mean? She chose to do that because getting in the gym with her mum, we'd have a laugh, we'd have a joke, and she realizes what she's capable of. And she's gone off traveling now for, I think, 4 months she's away for. And her mum sent me photos and went, thank you so much.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's just given her the confidence. And if they see an older woman that's not, I'm 14, 16, quite happy with that size, quite happy with how my body looks, to an extent, I've had 2 kids.
Yeah.
But I'm not preaching that you've got to be a size this or an X that or da da da. I'm just saying, look, you can move your body, you can enjoy it, you can be strong.
Yeah.
And seeing this young girl that's 18 do that, amazing. And her mum as well. She said,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, while she's away, I'm going to continue training." I'm like, "Yeah, you are, because if you're an old client and you leave and you come back on the new rate, Nikki." And she just laughed. And she went, "Oh, I'm definitely staying. I'm definitely staying, Carly. I'm definitely." I said, "There's your motivation, love, isn't it? There it is." So,
That
you
loyalty
know,
clause.
yeah, exactly. So, it's just having that, seeing them vibe and them grow together, and they're both taking them people that are coming in the gym and they're not sure of themselves to realizing they're capable.
Yeah. Yeah.
A client that yesterday said to me, "Oh, I walked into town last weekend without my stick." Fuck yes, you're amazing, legend.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. It's those little daily wins, isn't it? It's not the
It
lift
is.
in the
It's the
gym.
daily stuff. Yeah,
It's the daily stuff that's made a
yeah,
difference. I totally agree.
yeah,
And I love as well the whole that health promotion instead of weight loss. Like I think the way to get people to want to lose weight themselves is to help them to get stronger. Like I'm a
yeah,
massive believer in this. I do it in physio clinic. Like there's not one person I've said to that I'm like, do you know what you could actually do with losing some weight that would help?
yeah,
The way that I word it every single time is, do you know what would help? Getting stronger. Because if you want
yeah.
to be that weight, that's absolutely fine, but you need to be strong enough to hold that weight. Like
Absolutely.
I don't care if you're overweight, if you're well, I
Yeah,
do care a little bit if you're underweight, but
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
I don't care if you're overweight, what your BMI is, anything like that.
yeah.
But if your
Oh,
body's
I
not
hate
strong enough,
BMI.
yeah, it's stupid. But if your body's not strong enough to hold on to the weight that you're carrying around, then you need to do
Yeah,
something about that first. Like, and if you do that
100%.
first, then that's fine with me. You can be whatever weight you want as long as
Yeah,
you're strong.
yeah. It will follow that sort of. Oh, I can do it. It's the confidence.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree. And I think it's a really good way to get to people without that shame of losing weight because
Yeah,
it's awful. No one wants to hear
horrible.
that they're
No,
overweight. No one wants to hear it. It
no.
fucking feels like shit. So
Yeah,
just don't do it.
yeah, yeah, 100%. We all know if we're carrying extra weight and da 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 da, and you can feel it. And I look back at some photos and think, oh, did no one point out I was a little bit chunky? Who's going to point that out that still wants to live? Do you know what I mean? Like no one's going to say, you know,
Yeah.
anything, and nor should they, because it's a personal choice. So I'd never say that to client. You can see clients that are perhaps bigger, even if they then decide that the weight loss thing isn't for them, they're walking in each week with more confidence. They're holding themselves better. They're
Mm.
growing, and in so many different ways. It's not just down to a number on the bloody scale all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. Now, I think it's a really good way to look at it instead of that just like that shameful weight loss thing because
Yeah.
it's outdated. It's absolutely
Yeah.
outdated at this point, isn't it? But
Yeah.
yeah, I know. All right, well, I've loved that. That's we've gone sort of highs and lows there a little bit, but we need to go on to your actual strongwoman highs, your actual strongwoman lows now. No, we've done highs, haven't we? we've
Someone
sort of,
loads.
we've done
Yeah.
highs and lows, right? Okay, so
Yeah.
let's get on to your strongwoman lows then.
Strongman lows. Personal wise events, anything upper.
Yeah,
It just, me and my shoulders do not get on, it seems.
fair.
It just, you know, anything like that that causes instability, especially with like circus dumbbell, monster dumbbell. I'm having to rest. I can't press. So, you do that.
Yeah,
I can't. So I have to do it from here and up
yeah.
because there's nothing going on in my shoulders. How I used to get in the middle of scrums, I don't know. Um, Probably that's why. But anything like that, because then I'm resting on my bad hip, the hip replacement, having that angle and that. And I just couldn't see progress. So I hate it. And if I never see one again, I'm all right. If I died tomorrow and they said, oh, there's no circus dumbbell in heaven, I'd be like,
Nice one.
touch, that is heaven. Yeah. So the low would be some of the events, and it's not the events that are hard, yoke and things like that, because I can get better.
Mhm.
It's technique, I can do that. But sometimes when it was just, oh, great, monster dumbbell again.
Yeah.
Even down to log, even if I'm using both arms, one would always come up a bit slower. And I'm like, it's just for some reason for me, any upper stuff, not great. But I do
Yeah.
like a yoke, don't mind an Atlas stone, although it's the tacky in it. You've got to have a whole separate outfit, man.
Oh,
And that's
100%,
just a
yeah.
faff.
Yeah. I haven't done stones in comps for ages because I know at OSG, was it last year they were natural lifting stones?
Sandballs.
Yeah, you
Well, we
guys.
had, I think Adaptive had sandballs, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Can't remember because I think Alf, I don't know if he'd done that bit. But he had stones last week at England's and they were allowed to use tacky.
Yeah, that was the official strongman one, wasn't it? But
Yeah,
however, they were
yeah.
allowed to use
The
tacky.
ultimate strongman.
Yeah, that was it, the ultimate strongman. They're allowed to use tacky, however, it wouldn't have made a difference because those stones are literally just dust balls.
Honestly, apparently very bad.
They're awful. I know they are. I've
But I
touched
think
them. They're fucking terrible.
really, see, I think at every comp though, you go and you're like, oh, I think only one comp have I had stones where I've actually thought, oh, pretty, these are nice. You actually feel like you can grab hold of something. So
Yeah.
dusty, or oh, we forgot and left them outside last night. You're like, uh, okay,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think
that
the ones.
PD's out the window.
Yeah, the ones that Glen Ross has, I don't think they've ever been inside, to be honest. Maybe when they were being travelled in the lorry, and that's about it. Like they
Yeah,
are horrific, absolutely
yeah.
horrific. The best stones I've ever used were Ant Brown's at when he did England's. It was the 100% CA England's. He had like
Okay.
them all painted. They were all painted black, I think. They were like nearly brand new. Like you weren't even allowed to touch them in the warm ups. They were really good. You literally stuck
Yeah,
to them, and you're like hands on. They were stuck to you, and you were like,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as you feel, and that's it. And if you're going, up and you're like, oh, yeah, I can muscle that up sort of thing, technique starts to go out the window when it's sliding down your arms and your legs and you're like, what am I meant to do here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like now the minute stones start sliding on me, my body just goes, no, my biceps are like,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
yeah.
We don't do this.
Literally, I can't fight it. It's like, no, it's just going, okay, great. But especially with some stones, it's the number you've had in training. And yet you get to comp and you're like, oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
That's great. The
Yeah.
stones are dusty as I should have hoovered them before, let alone, put a bit of tacky on them.
I
Christ.
know. And do you know what? I get it because they are a nightmare to clean. Like we cleaned ours last year at Northern and they were a nightmare to clean. Like it was
Did you
not
have to
a
do the
fun.
whole warming them up, scraping it off?
Yeah, we were using kettles of boiling water and then scraping them
Oh,
off and then acetone afterwards. Oh, it was not a
yeah.
fun job, but we did
No.
it. And like to be honest, looking at them now, they need doing again. And I
Yeah.
don't think I've got enough energy or time to do it. I can't face them. Yeah,
Yeah,
So that's a later in the year job that for me, but
absolutely.
it makes such a difference. Like having
It
nice
really does.
stones.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
But I do love them, and I can't. I'm sorry, but I just can't get behind overhead. I understand it, but it's my favorite thing. You
Is
just
it?
just learn how to split jerk, and then you just have to catch things. You don't even have to
Can't.
test them.
Tried it. Tried it so many because Alfie loves a split jerk. Everything. If he can split jerk it, that's going up. Can't because it
Absolutely.
bangs down on my hip and then I can't walk.
Oh, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
We tried it, and I even there was a Olympic lifting coach at our gym called Rich, and I had a couple of sessions with him. He's like, "Carly, you're really good." I'm like, "Rich, I can't walk the next day. I can't." Like the
Mm,
impact was just too much.
yeah.
Sadly, because I get it, and sometimes I'd have a little jump, not meaning to, and I'd be like, "Oh, that flew up." And I was like, "Split shit." I'm like, "I can't. I just can't." But anything overhead, no, no,
See,
I'm all right.
even do you think would a power jerk be as invasive on the hip? Would it be as impacty? Just like keeping your feet
Probably,
together? Just
yeah,
wonder.
probably not. But then I have to. And it sounds so special. But then if my feet are too close together, my hip feels unstable. I can't do anything to
Oh,
it. Literally, my feet have got to be hip width. That's
fair.
it.
Yeah,
Nothing
no.
else will do because it feels unstable, too narrow, too far apart. Honestly, very special.
It sounds like it wasn't a very fun hip replacement, I have to be honest.
Not great, not great. But I'd done, I think, 2 or 3 steroid injections. I'd had the maximum I could do.
Yeah.
And, and then he told me afterwards, don't lift. And this is 2019, I had it done. Don't lift more than 20 kilos. I'm like, please.
Okay.
For your average 80-year-old, maybe. I don't know why you're telling me that, but absolutely not. But I discharged myself 48 hours later, got home, walked dog.
Did you? Nice.
Yep.
Hell yeah. To be
Took,
fair
took one
though,
crutch.
like
You got to get
nowadays, yeah, with hip replacements now, like I know most of the time they get you in and out in a day, and they want you walking within the first with the minute you're awake, basically, as long as you can feel your
honestly, I was
leg.
so shocked. When I woke
Yeah.
up and I'm like saying to the nurse, she's like, "You okay?" Yeah, I said, "I need a wee." She went, "Okay, cool, we'll get you out of bed." And she
Off
put
you
a
go.
Zimmer frame in front of me. And I went to her, "No, I've just had a hip replacement." She went, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, oh, the thought of, first of all, walking on that hip. And I didn't realize they do most hip replacements under spinal.
Yeah,
So
they
they
don't put
came
you
round to
asleep.
tell me that. And I was like, I'm not doing it then. They're like, what? I said, no, seriously. I said, you're going to have to knock me out.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we don't normally do generals. I said, and normally you're doing this on an 80-year-old. So how about you knock me out? I've just turned 40. I'll take the risk on the anaesthetic. So they went, well, you'll be bottom of the list today. I'm like, what time will that be? She said, 1 o'clock. I was like, I'll take it, knock me out. And when I woke up and saw the bruising, I'm like, can you imagine? You're awake and your knees behind you. No,
They
no.
do. I've sat in on a hip replacement, and it
Oh,
is
it's brutal, apparently.
the legs bend in ways that you don't expect them to. That is
Mm.
for sure. But I see. I'm the other way. When I got detached my bicep, I wanted them to keep me awake for that. I was like asking them to not knock me out. I was like, no, I'll be fine with the
Oh.
nerve block, and they were like, no, we're gonna knock you out. But that's because I'd already started talking too much to the consultant. He was telling me what his plan was, and I was like, well, actually, why don't you try this? Like I was a consultant myself, and he was like,
Oh,
who's
love
this
it.
dickhead? Like,
Yeah,
shut her up.
like we've got to knock her out and shut her up.
Basically, yeah. I think he literally just knocked
Brilliant.
me out because he just didn't like me. But yeah,
Oh, I
so
can't imagine being awake.
ah,
No, not for that.
fascinating. Absolutely
Really?
fascinating.
Could you
Yeah.
have looked? Do you think you could have like looked at?
I'd have been over the table like, what are you doing?
Oh
What's going on down
no.
there? Yeah, no, I sat in for quite a few surgeries. My last placement was on orthopedic ward, and I sat in for loads of surgeries, and I loved it. It almost was enough to make me go down like that medical route, and I thought, do you know what? Maybe I could be a doctor. And then I
Yeah,
realized how stupid I was and thought, nah. I ain't
yeah.
got another 7 years of school left in me, and I'm not clever enough for it. So nah, I'll stick with
Yeah,
physio.
yeah. Oh god, I couldn't sit and watch that.
No, exciting. I find it absolutely fascinating. But yeah,
I think I've had like 13 surgeries. I just do not want any more.
have you? No, that's fair.
Mm.
That's a lot of surgeries to have gone through,
Yeah,
though, to be fair. Yeah, that's a lot of surgeries. I'd be sick by that point probably as well.
yeah. I just feel a bit done. And it's when they have to always put an arrow somewhere to know what they're doing. It's like, oh, is it not in your notes? Do we have to do the arrow?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, when
yeah.
something's really obvious as well, and you're like, yeah, I don't think you need to reattach that side. It's the other side that's drooping down 6 inches from a shoulder. I think that's probably the one you got to fix. But the
Yeah,
arrow creases me up every time.
it's always a little bit concerning, isn't it? It's always one of them where you're
A
like,
little bit.
you should know this.
Yeah. Yeah. You should just look at your notes, people. Come on. It will say left or right.
Absolutely, yeah. So what's plans for the future then? What are you doing moving forward? I know we've got a couple more questions left, but what are your plans moving forward?
Continue coaching women. I have got one male client, but I knew him really well before, and I prefer working with with women, really. I mean, we do have a laugh and banter, but we were both like chairs at the rugby club, so I know him. I
Yeah.
was very conscious about, I didn't want, I don't know, to train random men. And it sounds mad. I've got I've got a French Mastiff, a English Mastiff that are like 100 kilos and the other one's 65. It's not as though I'm in the house on my own,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was a bit like, I just, seeing that empowerment for women.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the plan. Support Alf in his comps and go to them. See my other son out in America more. He goes back tomorrow. I'm a little bit upset about that. He's
Yeah.
had 3 weeks home
Oh.
for summer break, and then he's back out and not home till literally end of December. 20th of December is back.
Oh.
So just to keep mobile, keep strong, live my life, but not overdo it. And I'm never saying never, never, never. I will never compete in adaptive again. I don't know if I've got a, able-bodied comp in me. I'm never saying never, but I cannot see me ever making a comeback because
Yeah.
my body just feels done.
Yeah.
And I can't explain to you how that means, but I'm done,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'll do a bit of deadlifting for fun but I don't go heavy. I think the other day I went up to 120. I was literally hanging. I was like, oh my fucking God, this is shocking. But then I was like, well, I haven't got to.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I have got to put that pressure on myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And just to now sort of chill out a bit from that, enjoy life of just being able to move and keep moving.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
I love that. No, I think that. Well, I think they're great, great future plans. Is there a reason why you would never compete in the adaptive again?
Not enough competition.
That's very fair.
And I stopped getting anything out of it. I thought, well, I'm competing against myself and I'm winning, and that's not me. I don't have that sort of ego where that is important to go, oh, I've got another title. Cool. It's not me.
I
I
think it's
needed
yeah.
something more.
It's really difficult, isn't it? Because it is such a niche area of a very
Yeah.
already niche sport, isn't it? And I know
Yeah,
we
totally.
discussed it with Erin last time as well, like trying to grow obviously the adapted and the disabled strongman side, and it's so difficult. I understand
Mm.
why it's like that, but yeah, it's a I can see why just going there and just competing against yourself is like it's not the push that
And it's
you're
great if you can
hoping
get a
for.
few PBs and all of that. And that's what Worlds was for me. It
Yeah,
was PB and everything.
yeah,
So it was pushing my body to the max as much as humanly possible. And I'd done that.
yeah, yeah.
So I don't feel like I left anything on the table but I just haven't got it in these younger people. I'm nearly 50. Let them do their thing. I'm not saying, I see Claire Myler and I just think, you fucking legend.
She's
How
so
the
cool.
fuck? Oh my God. Just
Legend.
amazing. Just absolute, oh, I'll just do the 2 categories at that huge show and win both. Like, love it. Absolutely love it. I know I haven't got it in me,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, it's fair.
totally respect that, if you have, you should. And that's what I feel like, if a friend's brother recently got diagnosed with MS and I'm like, what's he doing? She's like, well, not a lot. His mobility is not great. I'm like, just send it. I would train another man because I said I'd train him, but I want to get him moving.
Yeah, yeah,
I want him to see that it's possible still and that sort of thing. So that's it. Just, keep moving.
hell yeah, I love that. Final question then for this part of the podcast then. So what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport?
Don't be so concerned with others and what they might think about you.
Love that.
Because I think it is a big issue when you step into that gym, you're big, tall, short, thin, that. No, do you know what? No one is looking at you. No one gives a shit.
Yeah,
Do you? Do you know what I mean? But you do go in and you're a bit self-conscious, and especially when you're young and when I was hitting a weights area where there were, 30-year-old guys that were like juiced off their tits, they don't appreciate this young girl coming in the gym and so I sort of held back a bit from then. I wish I'd have found it earlier.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because I was already, 37 at my first comp.
yeah,
So I wish I'd have found it earlier and found that. But hopefully doing stuff like this, setting up the women's and girls rugby is absolutely thriving at the club. And although I'd never be the one to go, I'd done that, a little part of me is like, that's cool.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? It's leaving a
absolutely.
bit of a legacy for other women and girls to see from a young age, there is a pathway, you can do something, and there is a space for you, and that's it. That's what I tell my younger self. Don't worry so much about others.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I love that, and I think it is so important because, I was like that when I was younger, so bothered about what people thought of me, and so bothered about what people would say if I did certain things or what I was
Yeah.
like and all that. And as you get older, you just think, I don't think
Yeah.
that about other people, so they're surely not
No,
thinking about me. I don't
exactly.
care.
But at the time when you're younger as well, you just think, oh, they'll think this or that. Just no, no.
Yeah,
Do you. You do you. You stay in your lane. You do what's best for you. And if people don't like it or the fact you're doing this, that, and then that's on them.
absolutely. I love that. That's great advice. Great advice to finish the very sensible part of the podcast, I think. Right, so let's move on to the final bit of the podcast then. Everybody's favourite, the silly goose section.
Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time.
So, do you have a silly goose you would like to bring to the table?
My silly goose would be, and I was thinking about this morning with my dogs, if they competed in Strongman, what event would they be good at?
Dogs?
Yeah,
Oh,
if dogs done Strongman.
just
Because I've got a Frenchie, well, it's really Alfie's. Moose is our Frenchie. Then I've got Ernie, who's 65 kilos. He's the French Mastiff. And then I've got Bert, that's 100 kilos. He's the English Mastiff.
oh
Like,
my
if they
god.
competed in Strongman, like Ernie would definitely, because he's a bit more agile. I
Mm,
think moving events would be his jam. Bert's a bit more, me, probably Alfie won't like me saying that. Bit more of a static person.
yeah.
Um, and I'm like, yeah, if they was in a race, who would win? Like, Bert would definitely win a stone run because he's got that. Whereas
Mm,
Ernie couldn't. He'd get distracted. Like, oh, butterfly, off he goes. And
yeah,
Moose would
yeah.
just give it his all. Moose is like the little tenacious, well, French bulldog. He's the little gobby one that thinks he's got something to back it up with and then looks around and he's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he's like an under 80 strongman.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. His under 80s. Ernie's probably, I'd say, 105s. And then
Yeah,
Bert's your open. Bert's your open weight.
yeah, I
He's
like
your,
that.
your, your big unit. So, yeah, I thought, what would they do if they were in Strongman? Bert would
Yeah,
definitely be sitting down with a can of Monster. He's more of an Alfie, contemplating life, and then just get up and do it and make it look easy anyway.
yeah.
Ernie would be like jittery, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And Moose would just think he could do it anyway, knowing full well we can't.
100%. I think this is a great one because I feel like everyone who has dogs is now thinking, what would my dogs be
Yeah.
good at in Strongman? Because
Yeah.
I know
What
I
would they
am.
do?
I'm like, I could run a full team of strongmen here. I've got so many dogs.
Yeah. See? Winning.
No, I think it's great. I wonder whether certain breeds would be better at certain events. Do you think there'd be a certain breed that would suit a certain event better? Like, I wonder whether.
Anything, I don't know, something like more agile. I mean, I don't have agile dogs. We had Great Danes as well, so we used to have 4 of them.
Oh,
I like my big breeds, and then Moose is just snoring away down there. He's just along for the ride. God love him. He's
yeah.
something that'll alert you if someone's at the door and look for the other ones to back it up, Um, my dogs are not agile. Sometimes I think, oh, it'd be nice to have a dog that loves really, really, really long walks. And then I think, fuck off. I
Yeah.
like my little half hour twice a day. That'll do.
Yeah, that's fair. Because see, mine do like a long walk because I've got a yard. They're outside most of the time anyway, so I
Yeah.
don't have to walk them that much, which sounds lazy, but
Yes.
I am lazy.
No. If they're
I've
out
got
and getting that
6.
out. Yeah.
I can't
See, we
walk
only never
6.
had 4 at once. And I was sitting there at the weekend and a Great Dane puppy came up with a friend of mine that breeds them. And I talked myself in and out of it so much. And then I thought, oh, I don't, they're all raw fed. It's bloody spenny.
Expensive.
Like, I cannot afford to feed another Great Dane or 2.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. See, like we went through phases of like 1, 2, the odd 3 dogs
Yeah.
here and there. You step over, it's the 4th dog. It's the 4th dog that breaks the barrier to then being like, well,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter how many I've got.
Doesn't make, no, and it doesn't. You get to a level and it doesn't matter. I always used to think, well, if I've got 2, I might as well have 3. And then when I had 3, I'm like, well, you might as well get 4 because then you're only doing the same number of walks. You're doing 2 at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very
So
fair.
it
Yeah.
didn't add anything more to my day. And food wasn't, this is like pre-COVID. Food wasn't the joke of a cost it is now to feed them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
always, my last business, I work from home. So I've never had that, I've got to find a dog walker. And I trust about 0 people to walk my dogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it didn't matter anyway, And as I say, when we go away, my friend who breeds Great Danes has them. Trust her. She can walk 10 Great Danes on her own. She's about 5'3".
She's
Like,
doing
you just
something
don't
all
fuck
right then,
with
isn't
her.
she? Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't fuck with them, and you've got that energy. Bert, we pull up there, and Bert the English is like, oh shit, some rules coming in for a few days here, isn't there?
Some rules.
I'm not just allowed up on the sofa when I choose, type of thing. But yeah, I couldn't be without the dogs.
I'm like that. I'm obsessed with mine. To be fair, I'm the rule keeper in our house. Like my husband Ben,
Right.
he's the one that breaks them and lets them do whatever they want. But he doesn't let
Yeah.
them do whatever he wants. They do listen to him, but he like feed them bits of cheese or like feed them a little sneaky snack off his plate, and then they'll come and hammer me
Wonders
for
why
food.
they're
Yeah, and I'm like, well, they're just being dickheads to me now. And he's like, well, you need to just tell them off. And I'm like, no, you just need to stop feeding them. Like, stop feeding them off your plate, and they'll stop doing this to me. Like, it's fine. But yeah, no, I'm when he's away and it's just me, they actually do get better because I just don't. No, not getting any extras off of me. I can't tolerate it. Not with 6 of them. I don't mind one beggy dog, but 6.
Yeah, no, I won't
Unbearable.
have that. Hate them if they're sitting there when you're eating. You're like, go fuck off, because this is not your time. And I wouldn't mind. They're both, like Bert and Ern have like a kilo of tripe and chicken mince every morning with their, collagen, joint aid, natural yogurt, veg, fruit. And then if I'm having a cup of tea and a protein bar, they're like, me? You're like, mate, you've eaten more. Step away.
Yeah, you don't need this. Leave me alone.
No. Yeah, this is not going to happen, And then they'll go to where we've got the treats and they're like, must be pig's ear time, which is coming up. So I'm surprised Bert's not got up yet. About 2-ish, she's like, fancy a little pig's ear now.
Yeah,
must be about that time, man.
It's time for a cup of tea. It's like, it's time.
Literally,
Go.
It's like, it's time. We've got to go and get that. So, yeah.
I love them. I see man catch rabbits in the yard all the time and just eat them. If you don't get them fast enough, they've
well,
done
that's
them.
nature.
Yeah, they love a rabbit. Like, they're so bad for it. But I just feed them kibble because I don't have enough money for raw food for 6 dogs.
Well, no, who would? Honestly, it was so reasonable when we started, and I started about 15 years ago feeding them all before it was like super cool, and there was like butternut this and that and the other. But so I just do it all myself and don't buy the pre-prep stuff. But when I get approached, like we went to this dog show recently, and they're like, have you considered feeding them raw? I'm like, yeah, I do. And can I ask how much you pay? I said, about a quarter of what you're going to charge me.
Yeah.
I said, because I can add some veg and yogurt. Do you know what I mean? Like, no.
I don't need to do that. I don't need to pay for that.
Oh, it's so expensive, man. And it is, they'll look really well on it, but you never get long. It's about longevity with Mastiffs and like Danes as well. You're just trying to keep them going for as long as you can.
Yeah, 100%. Big dogs, isn't it? Like, it's awful, isn't it? I hate it. All my dogs are big dogs now, and I just think, oh God, it's just,
you don't get long enough. It's hard.
Nah, it's the worst. That's the worst thing. One of my best friend Becky, so she won't even get a dog because she can't cope with when they die because it's too much for her. So she just won't. That's her biggest reason for not having a dog. And I'm like, I don't think I can do that because they bring too much to my life to not have them. But I do agree. When you lose one, it's like losing a family member, and it is nothing worse.
We lost 3 in 3 years. And so Bert, who'd come in being the youngest of 4, all of a sudden was on his own. Because I hadn't thought that Bull Mastiff he went literally overnight with pelvic cancer, took him to the vets. That was it. He had to be put down. And then I panic bought, which I'm not a fan of panic buying dogs. I went on the worst websites in the world and I panic bought Ernie because I thought, oh, Bert's going to be lonely. He needs a mate. Turned up with this puppy, picked him up because he was doing Worlds in Birmingham. Picked him up on the way to work, on the way back from Worlds.
Yeah.
I was like, last event, I'm like, I'm in the car, got a puppy to collect.
Gotta go, see ya.
So, went and picked him up. Thought, what have I done? Turns up, Bert's like, you having a laugh? I was about to have the best life ever. And now you're bringing in another dog. And then by the time we got Moose, honestly, Moose came and he's been here about, I don't know, 3-4 months. And Bert literally didn't even get up. He looked at him, just was like, oh, she's doing it again.
Yeah.
Like, he would have been fine as an owning dog, but I panic bought a 65 kilo French Mastiff.
What a thing to panic buy as well.
I know. And oh, Bert's lonely. He must be lonely. Bert was not lonely. Bert did not need this shit.
He was living his best life. That's what
Honestly.
my pointer was like that as well, because we had a
Yeah.
couple of dogs and they died, and I just had the English pointer left, and she was like loving life. Like, and we started to get a few more, and like every extra one we get, she's like, no, not bothering with that.
No.
Keep it away from me.
That's what Bert does. Literally, those two play with each other. Bert just lays there like, oh, children.
Yeah.
I want no part of that.
See, I've got a problem now because I've got two older dogs. I've got my English pointer and a red lab that are both a bit older, and then I've got like the wolf German Shepherd hybrid thing that I've got, and three of her puppies. So they're just like a pack, and they just fuck about all day together, all four of them doing their own thing. And the other two, like, they aren't bothered. They don't want to be involved, but every now and then they'll like try and play. But the other four just are so rough. Like, they're just, it's like battle royale like every morning at my house. Yeah, like, it's not safe. Like, and the older two are just like, nah, don't want to be part of this. Like, leave us alone. Yeah. So I've got like two groups of dogs, but it does work. They all like each other, so that's all right.
Yeah, that's it. I think, and as long as, when bringing other dogs in, I've always had male dogs. Yeah. Every time I've brought another one in, I've never had an issue, because there are boundaries, and there's one strong female, married, 2 sons. There's a lot of male energy going on in this house.
Yeah.
But they sort of realise, they're like, oh, she's going to fucking kill us if we do that again.
Yeah.
And it would just be oi. Everyone says I sound like Nessa, because I just go out there and I go, oh. And they're like, oh, shit. She's out. She's spotted us. So.
See,
you got to be firm.
Yeah, we've got girls, and we've ended up with 2 boys because we kept 2 puppies. So I had to get one of them like castrated, because otherwise they'd have killed each other. So I've got one boy that's like entire, and then one boy that isn't. And it was the one that I got back, the puppy that I got back, that someone hadn't been looking after very well. So I took him back. Well, luckily they gave me him back, and then I realized how badly they've been keeping him, and I was like, what the fuck? But luckily he's back on track now. But you'd never breed off him, because he's been messed about. It's like, it's too much.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are girls. However, the hierarchy is still the wolf like hybrid mum dog that I've got, Rogue, is top dog. And no joke, in the hierarchy of our house, it goes my husband Ben, Rogue, me. I am not there. Like that
Love
dog.
it.
I'll tell it off, and it literally looks at me and is like, fuck you. I'm not listening to a word you fucking say. Like, it doesn't listen to me at all. But she's so cute and funny and nice. And when you tell her off, she just talks back to you. Like, you'll be like, no, don't do that. And she's like, and then I just laugh.
Love it.
So therefore, everything I've just said is pointless.
It.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, we could sit here and talk about dogs all day, but we won't. But that was a great Silly Goose, and I hope everyone's at home now thinking about what their dogs would be good at in Strongman.
Yeah.
So if you are thinking, I want a little brief description of your dog and what event it would be good at in the comments for this podcast, because I would feel like I'd really enjoy reading those. So yeah, tell me what your dogs would be good at in Strongman. So do we have any final thoughts for the podcast? And also, where can people find you if they want to follow you along, or if you've got anything to promote, then promote it now.
Yeah, no, my Insta is shush training, so SHH underscore, I think it's underscore, is it underscore Becca?
Underscore.
Someone link that somewhere.
I'll tag it in the show notes.
Underscore training. So which is stronger, happier, healthier, and that's just what I like to promote. Women finding their confidence. Strongwoman's given me confidence, and I hope it can for other young girls as well, and them coming up. But that's it, really. Just keep going, keep fighting. And I always think, on bad days, I've got over my worst days, so I'm going to get over this one. Always think that to yourself.
Hell yeah, I absolutely love that. I think that's some great advice. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast, Carly. It has been a pleasure.
No worries, you're welcome.
No, it's been lovely. So I hope you guys all enjoyed that episode, and we'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strongwoman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!